Hello, my name is Gabriela Diaz, and today I'm going to be talking about the importance that traveling has on people. So, first off, I want to start off by saying that traveling is something that has been very important to me and my family. We have traveled over the US, we've gone to different places in Europe, we have gone to the Caribbean, and some places that we would like to go in the future is Australia, several places in Asia, and a couple countries that are left in Europe that we haven't been to yet. But with that said, I do want to clarify that traveling does not need to be something expensive. It obviously can be, it can get very expensive if that's what you want, but traveling doesn't necessarily mean that you spend a lot of money to go across the world. Traveling by definition means that you go somewhere that is not what you're used to. So not your hometown, or not your, sometimes not even around your hometown. You can travel within the same state, but at least, somewhere different than what you're used to. One of the main points of traveling, one of the most important aspects that it brings to humans is education. There's a lot of things that you can learn from traveling, including culture, religion. You can learn languages. You can learn everything about another country or another state, which is a very important thing to have. So, according to NYU .edu, food actually displays many virtues and explains many things about a culture, from the local agriculture to even the imports. So, just by the food that you experience in each country or state tells you a lot about the culture of the place. And it's also, food is a great way to learn about different dishes that can be incorporated in other places. So not only will you learn about, these different foods that are in different places, but you can also bring it to your hometown and share it with others. And that's the way that, recipes spread, and culture kind of becomes diverse around you. Also tying in with culture, you have religion, which is a very important aspect to traveling. Almost every country has, their own religions. And every country does have their own religions, but they do vary, obviously, between countries. And according to Elevated Destinations, it is essential to understand the history and significance of various religious traditions of your destination before you travel, to avoid committing social faux pas that make you or others feel uncomfortable or disrespected. So I think this is a very important aspect, and here's why. If you go to another country, you might not be aware of the religion that they practice over there, and that's okay. That's what the education is for. However, you have to be careful that you don't do something that is going to disrespect the people there, because at the end of the day, you are traveling to their hometown. That is where they live, and this is something that they practice every day, and it isn't fair for you to go there and do something that makes them feel uncomfortable. So I always try to learn at least a little bit of where I'm going. If it's different from where I'm from, I like to know what religion they practice and what kind of habits they have and what they don't want people doing over there, so that at least me and my family, we won't feel like we're impeding on these people. And I think it's a very important aspect of traveling that actually is a bit not underrated, but a lot of people don't realize that this is something very important, and sometimes is the factor that some people talk about when they say that they don't like tourists. Another aspect of culture is languages. Obviously, different countries have different ways of speaking, and that's incredibly diverse and amazing. And traveling to different countries, although obviously you won't learn a whole new language, but it's kind of important, or at least very helpful, if you learn things like simple things like hello, goodbye, please, thank you, where's the bathroom. Things like that are very important to learn when you go traveling, and you come back with a little bit of extra knowledge about many new languages. So, moving on to the next point, I want to talk about shared experiences. Shared experiences is important because although sometimes you travel alone, shared experiences doesn't mean that you travel with someone. It could be that you travel with someone, with family, or with a loved one, or it could also be the experiences that you share at the new country. You can meet new people, you can meet groups of people, you can meet a lot of different people, or have your own shared experiences with your own family. So, one of the most important things that you realize when you have these shared experiences is that people live very different lives. The way that you live here is not the same way that you live in Europe or in, Asia. So it's very interesting to see when you go to another country, the way that people live their lives differently. And going back to what I said in the beginning, that even if you don't travel all across the country or the world, you can go in Florida. If you live in Miami and you go up to Orlando or Tallahassee, there are many things that they do differently there than we do here, because we have a different culture down here. And that's one of the most amazing things about how diverse the world is. And another important thing about traveling and shared experiences is that you meet a lot of new people. Whether you want to or not, you're always going to encounter people. If you just go to a restaurant, if you go to a tourist location, there's always going to be new people. And that could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing. Sometimes you may encounter situations that make you feel uncomfortable. But at the same time, you could meet someone incredible that could teach you a lot of things. And actually, according to Trafalgar.com, a lot of people have met the love of their lives in different, by traveling. And also, according to Bustle.com, exploring new places can be exhilarating, and meeting new people can be an exciting part of the experience for singles. Also, the opportunities to make these new connections often come quite naturally, in the form of asking for directions, offering to take a picture for someone, or as the data shows, sitting next to someone on a plane. So, this website shows that by traveling, people have met their significant others by simply just asking for directions, doing simple day-to-day life things, and they end up meeting their significant others. So that is definitely one beneficial aspect of traveling. On top of that, bonding with your family, for example, for me, is a very important aspect. When me and my family travel, we like to leave our lives here in Miami, and when we go to another place, we kind of have like a fresh start for that certain amount of time that we go out. And according to Trafalgar.com, away from life's everyday distractions and long working hours, families are able to spend uninterrupted time together. Even the simplest experiences, such as a meal, can become cherished memories, which is one of the most honest things I've ever heard. It is true. It doesn't have to be, like I said, a massive trip. You could go on a road trip with your family, and it can end up being one of the most cherished moments of your life. Lastly, I want to talk about mental health, which is a very important aspect to me in traveling. I think traveling is definitely what has kept me the most sane. It's an escape sometimes from your life, and it doesn't have to necessarily be that you are living like a bad life or anything like that. I just mean like you take a break from what you've been doing every single day, and you go learn about something new, or you go discover new places and see new things, which I think is very beneficial to your mental health. According to NYU.com, learning emotional regulation and intelligence in these situations helps build stronger mental health, which was in regards to traveling. And in addition to that, they state that living in a world where individuals are constantly slammed with the stress of work, relationships, and maintaining a family, it's important that they take time to relieve all that stress. so that they can continue to function normally. There is a argument that has gone around that is pretty much saying that people who travel too much, they tend to not want to continue to live their current lives. For example, like if I am constantly traveling and seeing all these new things, I am not going to want to return home. And the reason I believe that that isn't true is because when I go to new places and I learn all these new things, I am excited to go back home because I'm bringing home all this knowledge with me, and I'm going to change the way that I live my life. And it's not something drastic, like even just a small thing, I can bring it home with me, and that way that trip is a part of me constantly forever. But I do think that in conclusion, traveling plays a very important role in the way that, people are. And you can find very affordable ways to travel it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be anything expensive. But it is a way to enrich your international knowledge and build new connections and hopefully better your mental health. So, thank you so much for listening.